Hey guys, Andy from Backbone Adventures, ATV and Jeep rental company in Estes Park, Colorado. This video is about the Kawasaki KRX 1000, the throttle position sensor. If your throttle is it's throttled up to around 1800 RPMs and it won't shift, your problem is probably going to be here. And I'm going to show you. So how you access this part, you can see here. This is your throttle cable that goes down to your throttle pedal. This unit is higher up underneath the dash, and the best way to access it is just take out your center console there where your little cubby is at, and you have your little flip up cubby. There's some push pins in there and a couple more down low and a couple of bolts down at the bottom. Just take those out, take that whole center portion out, and then you come right down through the top of the machine. Just lean over the steering wheel and look down in, and you can see it right there. And you'll have a cover that you need to take off. One of the bolts has a little plastic cover over this. I think they might show it in here. Yeah, that's your plastic cover. You'll need to take this off. You actually only have to take off one bolt, and then you can turn this thing out of the way so that you can access stuff. But it's not totally in the way, to be honest, but if you want, you can do that. And but yeah, you'll access it from the top. Just bend over the steering wheel, you'll be able to see it. And you're going to see this unit. I'm going to blow this up a little bit here. This is a used one. It's on eBay. Okay, so oh shit, I got the wrong. Do I have the wrong picture up? You can kind of see it. Let me see if there's a better one here. Yeah, you see that little Torx bolt right there, and it's the style that has a little pin right in the center of it. So you need that hollow Torx bit. I can't remember if is it 20 or 25, something in that range. I can't remember, but yeah, you just get your set at Harbor Freight or whatever, O'Reilly's, whatever auto parts store, they're probably going to have a set. And all you do, you can see that there's adjustment here. You see on the back side, there's a hole right there. This throttle position sensor will turn a little bit, and you just loosen these up. And I'm going to turn this camera around. So you just loosen those things up, and then you can play with it, and you can get it to come down to your where it's supposed to be, around 1200 RPMs. You don't. You can. I've had a couple that I've had to take off, and then take the bolts out, stick it back in there. Goes in a little key, and you don't need to bolt it back on. You can kind of turn it and play with it, and it'll move your throttle, your RPMs up and down until you get it right to where you're supposed to be at 1200 RPMs, and then put the bolts back in and cinch it down, and you're all good to go. That's going to be your problem 99.9% of the time. Now, if you look online about how to fix that problem, you do any searches, you're going to see the same thing that everybody else is seeing, and it's mostly people that are doing tunes, aftermarket ECUs, and crap like that. And sometimes that's the culprit there. Anytime you do that, you're going to impact other things in your vehicle. But I have a fleet of these things. They're all right around 5,000 miles, driven by rental customers who abuse the shit out of them. And if there's a chink in the armor, we're going to find it. It's going to get exposed, and that's the culprit right there. Now you can adjust your throttle cable there at the pedal, and then again at this unit where that throttle cable. Let me turn. Where that throttle cable comes in, and you can see right here, that's your throttle cable that goes down to your throttle pedal. You can adjust it right there. Let me blow that up for you. There's an adjustment here as well where it tells you it needs to be 19 millimeters. Yeah, you can fine tune some stuff in there, and I have seen cables will stretch over time, and you need to do a little bit of adjustment. That's easy to see. The throttle cable's kind of wiggly, so you just cinch it up a little bit. So there's just a little bit of free play, but not much. That's generally not going to be the problem. Your problem is going to be that throttle position sensor. I've seen it happen from tip overs, accidents, people smacking the throttle real hard, It just jars things loose a little bit, and it just needs to be adjusted. That's all there is to it. It's pretty simple. So I wouldn't be taking it to a shop. I did see a story about one guy that took his to a shop, and they charged him a bunch of money to put a brand new throttle position sensor in there. They don't really go bad. I mean, I have a bunch of these units and high miles, and they're abused, and I've never seen one go bad. So I don't think they're bad. It's just they just need to be adjusted. That's all there is to it if it gets out of whack. So that's all you need to do. And I hope that information helps. You put any questions, comments you have down below. And I meant no offense to anybody who tunes their machines and does aftermarket parts. It's just, comments and stuff. You change one thing, it's going to impact another. It's just the way vehicles work. So, but if you're running a stock, and even if you do have it tuned, this might be your first check. And you'll find it to be fairly quick and easy. Spark plugs, it's not going to be spark plugs. I know I've seen people say that before, and that's just not going to be the case. It's going to be your throttle position sensor. So I hope that helps. You guys have a good night.